You ever have a game or a game series that you like, but they don't make follow-ups to it or sequels? Or maybe they do make sequels, but they either suck or are completely different. So I want to talk about 5 games I picked out that are like spiritual successors, quote unquote. They're basically a game in a specific series. You might call it like a ripoff if you want, but it's more of a spiritual successor. But anyways, 5 games. Let's get into it. Ukulele. A lot of the people that used to work at Rare had left and formed a new company called Playtonic. And the first game that they made was Ukulele, which basically is Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, when you look at the box art, it's obvious that it's supposed to be a spiritual successor. I mean, even the logo is similar. It is straight up like the Banjo 3E that we never got. Instead of a bear and a bird, you have a chameleon and a bat, which I don't like as much, but it is what it is. It literally is everything Banjo-Kazooie. With the collectibles, characters can transform into other animals or creatures or whatever. You got your main collectibles, which are, instead of jiggies, you have pagies. If you've played Banjo-Kazooie, then I don't really need to explain this game. And I can say that with most of the games in this video. But I think I might like this roughly as much as Banjo-Tooie. Kazooie is my favorite, like the original. And then I'd say it's a tie between this and Banjo-Tooie. The thing with Banjo-Tooie is it was just so big and so much backtracking. This one, there's a lack of worlds. You'll have I think there's like 7 or 8 worlds. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played it. But you'll have so many worlds, and then you have to unlock, after you collect enough pages, you have to unlock the expanded part of the world. So essentially, they went for bigger worlds as opposed to more worlds. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Unfortunately, they don't seem to be wanting to make any more Ukulele games outside of Ukulele in the Impossible Lair, which is a side-scrolling game. But I want more games like this. I love collectathons, and unfortunately, really all we get anymore is Mario. You know, he's kind of just dominated the genre. But it's a good game, but not as good as Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Tooie, on the other hand, different story. I'm a Final Fantasy fan. My favorite is Final Fantasy VII, which I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, you might think, but it is what it is. So, I love Final Fantasy. But when I say I love Final Fantasy, it's specifically the first 10. Because after Final Fantasy X, that's when a lot of the key people that worked on the series, you probably already saw what that was, a lot of the key people that worked on Final Fantasy left after 10. And so from 11 onwards, it's a completely different game every time. They're not necessarily turn-based, except for 13, but a lot of those people went and made a studio called, I think, Mistwalker. They made 2 games on the 360, Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey. And this is everything actual Final Fantasy games should be, from the turn-based combat to the open world exploration, which 10 didn't even have. And this was actually 4 discs long, which is absurd for, an Xbox 360 game. They were mainly the PS1 had a shit ton of multi-disc games. After that, they tried to just cram it all on one disc if they could. But with this, they were like, no, 4 discs. I love this game. It's one of the best Final Fantasy games that isn't called Final Fantasy. Every Final Fantasy game tries to have a different mechanic with how the characters learn abilities. And with this one, you had 2 types of characters. You had the Immortals and the Mortals. And the Mortals would... I don't remember if they were called Mortals. They might have just been people. But the Mortals would learn levels, or they would learn abilities and magic as they leveled up. The Immortals, you'd have to connect them to a mortal, and they'd have to learn the spells from them. So the Immortals were kind of customizable, whereas the other ones weren't, which kind of sucked. But yeah, it's a very interesting. Lost Odyssey is a must play if you love the classic Final Fantasy games. So these next two games are from the same series. I wouldn't call myself a big Castlevania fan, but I do like it. I more so like the Metroidvania Castlevanias more so than the like the NES ones. But yeah, Ritual of the Night and Curse of the Moon. Now, I was more so looking forward to Ritual of the Night because it's similar to, it's like the spiritual successor to Symphony of the Night. I literally just said the game. That's like the spiritual successor to Symphony of the Night, whereas Curse of the Moon is more like the original Castlevania. And you know, I was looking forward to this one more so, and I ended up liking this one more so. I don't know why. Like I think, well, I do think part of the problem was I had myself hyped more hyped for Ritual of the Night. And then when that came out, it didn't quite meet my expectations. Whereas Curse of the Moon kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I think it was like a stretch goal for their Kickstarter, but like I wasn't really paying attention to the Kickstarter. I just knew the game was being made. But anyway, that kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, okay. And I played it, and I actually like 100%ed it. The Curse of the Moon, not Blood or Ritual of the Night. I definitely don't think Ritual of the Night is as good as Symphony of the Night. I don't know where I would rank it. If I were to rank all of the like Metroidvania Castlevania games, I don't know where I would rank Bloodstained. But the Curse of the Moon, it's just a traditional like NES game. You have like 4 different characters you can play as. You have like multiple endings. It's a good game. Highly recommended. I didn't care for Curse of the Moon 2 as much. But yeah, I mean, if you like Castlevania, probably like these. I do know with I can't talk. I do know with Ritual of the Night, the Switch version, I think had some frame rate issues or something, which is why I have it on the PS4 instead. But yeah, if you decide to get that, look into what was wrong with the Switch version, because I don't know off the top of my head. I don't remember. So the last game I want to talk about, Mighty Number 9. Look, I didn't say every game we were going to talk about in this video was going to be a good game. The graphics for this game look like they could be on the Dreamcast, which there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, you know, with Dreamcast graphics. But when you have a game that came out in 2016 and it looks like a game that came out in like 1999 or 2000, like that's not good. If you followed this game on their Kickstarter or whatever, when like the original like screenshots they showed from it, it had like this artistic style, but then it comes out looking like not artistic but very bland and generic graphics. Like there's so many people online shitting on Mighty Number 9. Like you can have a field day watching videos like that, but like it very much is a Mega Man game, not a good one. Like they tried to do this like combo system where you could like dash into enemies. I didn't like. I played through the game. If you can find it for like $5, maybe it'll be worth your time. But I don't know. It just wasn't that great. We love golf. So what is this a spiritual successor of, you're asking? Why am I picking some random Wii game? So this is made by Camelot. The same people or the same team that makes the Mario Golf games. And there is no Mario Golf game on the Wii. A lot of that has to do with the fact that Wii Sports had a golf mode in it, and Wii Sports was included with the Wii. I almost said Switch. But because there was a golf game included with the Wii, Nintendo probably just didn't see the point in making another golf game. Maybe because they didn't think it would sell since Wii Sports came with the damn console. But this pretty much is like a Mario Golf game, just without the Mario characters. It does have Capcom characters in there, but I didn't like this one as much because of the motion controls. Like That's its biggest drawback. Like, I don't know, you just had to, like, because the motion controls are so finicky, like you have to swing at a certain angle, and the bar would constantly like move, and it made it more difficult. I mean, if the motion controls work, it is fine. Like, it's a fun game, but just, you can pretty much expect like the motion controls to be the biggest hinder to the game. If it wasn't for that, it'd absolutely be like a fantastic game, because it's just straight up Mario Golf on the Wii, just without Mario. But yeah, it's a quick video. I had the idea. I know there's other games out there that are like spiritual successors. One game I thought about talking about was Dark Souls, because it is a spiritual successor to Demon Souls, but at the same time, it is considered part of the same series, and it's made by the same people and the same developer and whatnot. It's just, they changed the name due to Sony owns the rights to Demon Souls. But if there's a spiritual successor game that you like, let me know in the comments, because I'm curious, because I know there's a lot more out there, but these are just the ones that I knew of off the top of my head that I wanted to do a quick video for. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.